video is about Jesse James.
But before we tell you about Jesse James and our trip to his residence, let's go quickly like and subscribe our video so you do not miss out any fun. Many years ago,
Before I was born,
that's right, before you were born, I went on a bike ride with my friends, and that ride was in Northfield and it was called Jesse James Ride. And that's where I learned some facts about Jesse James.
friends, when I saw Mom's pictures, I wanted to learn more too.
So when we went to Kansas City, Missouri,
We gotta check out museum and Jesse James' house.
We're going to Jesse James' house.
Get your bikes, boys. It's time to rob the bank.
long story short, Jesse James had a very tough life. His dad passed away when he was only 3 years old. He was a young adult in a Civil War days. He and his brother Frank led an outlaw lifestyle.
What is outlaw?
Well, bad guys, people who don't follow the law and are criminals. Jesse became famous for robbing banks and trains, and there's some legends about him robbing the banks and giving the money to the poor.
There's no proof of that.
That's right, there's no proof that they did anything good.
Friends, we went to this bank and this bank made Jesse very famous.
That's right, he robbed close to $60,000, and that was unheard of back in the day, and it was nation's first successful daylight robbery in 1863. That's the bank he robbed and got $60,000 out of the vault. Here you can see the bank from inside. It is a relatively small bank. A lot of original artifacts are still laying around. This is the vault they took money from and took off.
To get in here because there's 2 doors in it. That's impossible. How can
So this is all original, I would imagine.
I imagine how I could
Look at their heating system. Give me all your money. Are you Jesse James? Now we are at the Jesse James Farm Museum. There are some artifacts here in the museum. Some guns, some paintings. We watched a short movie about Jesse James' life. There's a lot of history, lot to learn, lot to see.
Okay, so thank you.
Look at the guns. The little model houses were so fun. Now the best part, we went to see Jesse James' house.
Friends, do you know how he got killed? Mama, tell them. Go tell them.
So he became a very bad person. He robbed left and right, and eventually the governor got really tired of his shenanigans. So he ordered Jesse to be captured, and he put a prize money for it. But Bob Ford, one of Jesse's new gang members, killed Jesse in his house instead of capturing him. Jesse's mom, Zerelda, buried him in the yard near the house so people don't ransack his grave.
That's the grave. This is Jesse's house.
It's furnished more or less how it would have looked like back in the day. They didn't have bathrooms in the house back in the day, just little outhouses like porta potty, and no garages, just stables for the horses and carriages. Lift up the pump up and down. The water comes out when it's connected. It's not connected right now, so the water won't come out. But back in the day, people, this is how they would get the water out. See?
This is Jesse's house.
I hope you learned something about the history and how things were back in the day.
Friends, if you haven't subscribed to this video, do it now. We the Masti Kids.
Bye.
Bye. See you next time.